Third culture kid, a term that I have literally recently just realised kind of describes me. Hey guys, what's up and welcome back to a brand new video. Today I'm going to be just talking about being a third culture kid. It's something that I've only recently realised that I am a third culture kid. So I'll be talking a little bit more about me coming to realise that, and just a little bit more about the term in general and how being a third culture kid impacts my life. I heard of the term third culture kid before, but I never really took time to understand the term and never really looked into it at all. Until recently, it was by pure chance I was watching something and this video comes up and it's talking about being a third culture kid. And then it started to say things that related to me. I was like, wait a minute, what is going on? So I took some time to watch a few more videos, research a bit about it, and I realised that I'm a third culture kid. As I didn't know what a third culture kid is, I'm pretty sure a lot of you won't know what it is. Here is a definition of third culture kid, because I'm not sure how well I'm going to describe it. A third culture kid is a child that grows up, or their formative years are not in a place where either of their parents are from. So in my case, I grew up primarily in the Middle East until I was 12. Essentially, my formative years from ages 2 to 12, I was in the Middle East. My parents are not from the Middle East. My mum is Italian and my dad is English, and then we've got some German mix in there. So that's where that leaves me. I spent the first 2 years of my life in Italy, and then I spent the next 3 years between Bahrain and Italy, and then I moved to Dubai when I was 5 for 7 years until I was 12. And then after that I was in Germany a year. Then at the age of 13 I moved to England. I thought by moving to England that I would be comfortable and I would find my English side of me more. No. Moving to England, I realised how non-English I am. Which is shocking. For most of my life, I just really associated with being English, especially when I lived in Germany, where they were all German, obviously. And I just associated with being English. And I thought that because I'd gone to international schools which were based on the English system, and I spoke English, and you know, I just thought I was English. A huge shock to 13-year-old Denise. She was in fact not very English. Now of course it is still a side of me, and my dad is English and I know things about being English and stuff, but I'm not as English as I thought I was. Which is where the shock came in. I realised that I'm a lot more Italian than I thought I was. But then there is the issue. I am too English to be Italian, and I'm too Italian to be English. I always thought this was just due to me having two cultures in my life, and that is true. But I didn't only have these two cultures in my life. I had also this German part that I knew of and know of, because I spent a lot of my summer in Germany, and quite a chunk of my family lives in Germany. And so I've associated a lot and learnt a lot about German, hence why I also speak German, and then after living there a year I learnt more about it. Now, the third culture bit comes in with, first of all, I've already got 3 cultures, but a bit by me living in countries that did not belong to my parents at all. The Middle East is very international, and I grew up around so many amazing cultures and learnt so much, but none of them identified with me. And for the longest part, I just didn't understand where I fit in. And to be honest, I still don't. I kind of describe it as I've got this ball of yarn with all these different cultures all muddled up, and I cannot pull them apart for the life of me. And that kind of leaves me realising that I am a third culture kid. And with being a third culture kid, I don't really feel like I belong in any of these cultures, because I'm too Italian to be English, I'm too English to be Italian, and I don't speak with a proper English accent, and not everything I do is Italian, and then I've got some German elements in me. So I've got all these different cultures that are just floating in my mind, but that also makes me question, where do I fit in? It has just honestly blown my mind that this is a thing. What I'm more shocked of is how I didn't realise before that I was a third culture kid. I've spent a lot of my life trying to understand what parts of me are what. So yeah, I am still trying to understand more about it. I have all these cultures, and I understand a lot about lots of cultures because I've seen lots of cultures, but it's just really hard to identify with just one. The other thing that comes with being a third culture kid is growing up feeling like we've got no home. I've always felt this feeling, and I never really knew how to explain it. I always thought it was just because I lived and moved around a lot, but it's not. It's I've got no home because I've got nowhere that I can just pinpoint that's where I feel like I can just be me, everything relates to me, because that's never the case. There's always something slightly off, and I don't think really I can ever feel like one particular place will relate to me, because not one place will ever have all the culture that I've had around me. And that is a large part in being a third culture kid, is not really feeling like anywhere is home, because you just don't fit into these categories. And so yeah, it is kind of a weird thing. But this third culture kid also relates to me speaking lots of languages. It's kind of an umbrella term for being multilingual, for being multicultural, for growing up around the world. It just has put all these terms into one. And essentially there's a little bit of every culture that I've been brought up with in me, and that makes me. I will never be fully able to identify with one culture because that's just not how I was raised. And I think I've just got to come to terms with and become comfortable with having all of these different cultures in me and embracing it, because it is an amazing thing. But it has also come with a lot of confusion, hence why I've been in a cultural identity crisis for a very long time. It's not necessarily a bad thing at all, but it does come with its struggles, which is why I thought I would make this video to see if there's anyone else out there that feels or can relate to these struggles. I just thought I would talk a bit more about a topic that has really hit me and honestly has just opened my mind to something that I didn't really know existed. I'm not quite sure where this video went, but it has helped me comprehend a little bit more of this realisation of being a third culture kid, and I hope maybe that it helped someone else understand that they are a third culture kid, or if you already knew you were a third culture kid, then let me know down below if you could relate to some of these struggles or anything else, because there's so many things that come with being a third culture kid. And especially that now I've come to the realisation about this, I will be learning a lot more about myself than I thought. If any of you are going through a cultural identity crisis, I'm sending you lots of love, because it's something that's not really spoken about. I don't think I've really often heard anyone speak about a cultural identity crisis, and it's something that I think happens to a lot of people, especially nowadays where cultures are a lot more mixed and there's a lot of expat life and people moving. If you did enjoy this video, don't forget to like, subscribe and hit that notification bell. I loved being able to sit down and just have a chat with you guys. Hope you enjoyed, love you all, bye guys!